Hey guys, so 3 days ago actually marked 4 years since my cousin Kelly passed away at the age of 27 in her sleep. And for those of you who don't know or who are new to my channel, my cousin Kelly and I, growing up, were super close to each other. Um, we lived in separate towns, so during the school year, we didn't really see each other as often as we would have loved to. But during the summers, we each would spend like a week together at my grandma's house, just, baking cookies, watching movies, um, and overall just having a really good time. And I am making this video because, one, it has been a very emotional week for me. Like, there were plenty of times over the past week that I just kind of felt off and just felt sad. And obviously, I know that losing a cousin is something that can be very emotional, especially when you guys have that close connection. And even though like we had kind of gone our separate ways and weren't as close as we were as kids over like the few years before she passed away, um, I still remember all of the good times that we had together, all of the things that we talked about doing, all of the plans that we made for our lives. And like, she was in school to become a nurse practitioner. She was a registered nurse in Montana. And it just like to have your life ripped away from you like that. She was happily married. She didn't have any kids, but she had fur babies. Um, she had a dog or two dogs with her husband. Um, and, it's very hard to see that ripped away from you at the age of 27. And another reason why I wanted to make this video is because a couple of days before her birthday, I had a dream. And the first part of the dream makes no sense to me because, if it had happened that way, I'll explain to you as I tell you about my dream, but I wanted to share my dream with you. And first of all, I just want to say, please don't, say anything negative about how I feel about dreams, because I believe that if you dream about someone that you miss, whether it's a friend, a loved one, an acquaintance, family member, whatever the case may be, if you dream about them and it feels super real, maybe that's their way of spending time with you or visiting you. And like I said, if that's not something that you believe in, then that's fine. I'm not judging you for that, but please don't judge me for my belief, because it definitely helps me deal with my grief and my pain of loss. Like, I also have dreams about my grandma, and I feel that it's her coming to just spend a little bit of time with me, and it brings me peace and comfort. And so, having this dream about my cousin Kelly a few days before her birthday really just solidified that she was telling me that she was okay, and that, I didn't need to be sad because she was still going to do everything she always did to celebrate her birthday. So let me tell you about my dream. So I had a dream that my aunt had called me to ask me to go check on her lake house. For those of you who don't know, she has a main house that she lives in the lower peninsula of Michigan, and she also has a lake house that her and my uncle kind of travel back and forth to in the summertime. Their lake house is in the upper peninsula. It's maybe 10 minutes from my house. But she asked me to go over there and check on her lake house because my uncle, who lives like right next door to my aunt's lake house, he doesn't live there year round. He spends like the warmer months and hunting months up there, and then goes back downstate to his main house in the winter, like when hunting season is over and all that. He had seen a light on, and so he told my aunt about it, and she texted me to ask me to go over there and check on her lake house. And that's the part that wouldn't make sense to me, because if he had seen a light on in her house, he definitely would have investigated it himself. However, the mind does weird things in dreams. So basically, I went over to the lake house and there was a light on, And so I was kind of like walking around the outside of the lake house and, you know, looking through the windows and just kind of seeing what I could see and hoping that nobody had broken in and like was vandalizing the place or whatever. So when I get to the front sliding doors of my aunt's lake house, the one blind was open just a little bit, and inside the lake house was my cousin Kelly. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about this. Like, she was sitting there on the couch with one little light on, and she was watching TV. And my cousin Kelly and I were super into like movies on HBO, and like there were some kids shows on there on Saturdays that we used to watch all the time. But she was just like sitting there on the couch watching TV, and I knocked on the door and she went and opened it, and we sat there and we talked and we talked, and we made cookies together, and we sat there and listened to Disney music, and we're singing Disney songs. My cousin Kelly and I were raised with Disney. We were very big Disney fanatics, and we loved singing Disney songs and watching Disney movies. And it just felt like it was us finally back together again, spending time with each other like we always used to. And like I said, it was such a comforting feeling to me to be able to spend that time with my cousin, who I really miss. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. I was very sad to wake up from this dream because it felt like so real. And I was afraid to tell my aunt about my dream because I knew that in a few days it was Kelly's birthday, or what would have been Kelly's birthday. And I didn't want to make my aunt any more sad or emotional than she already would have been, because, you know, losing your child, I know what that feels like. And I didn't want to make it any worse for her. And so I decided to tell my mother about my dream, at which point she encouraged me to reach out to my aunt, Kelly's mom, and tell her about my dream, and I did. And I'm very glad that I did, because even though it did make her sad, my aunt also believes that when you have a dream about someone, it's their way of coming to visit you. And she said, you know, I'm so glad that Kelly came to visit you, and thank you for sharing with me. And she mentioned, you know, that talking about Kelly was always going to make her sad, because she can't, you know, give Kelly a hug or spend time with her, or, you know, celebrate a birthday, watch her have kids, you know, all of that stuff. And the other thing she said to me was that, you know, she always wanted us to talk about Kelly, regardless of whether it would make her sad, because she said, I will always be sad, but I also don't want Kelly to be forgotten. And I don't either. Like I said, I was very close to Kelly throughout like my whole childhood, even though she was a couple years younger than me. We both had dreams of going to nursing school and becoming nurse practitioners, and then everything happened with me getting waitlisted, and she actually got in like way before I was able to even get accepted. And then I got waitlisted and she didn't. And so like our plan was always to become nurse practitioners together, and then everything changed. And even though I'm still pursuing medicine and I'm still pursuing becoming a doctor, like I wish that Kelly was here to do that with me. She never got to realize her goal and aspiration and dream of becoming a nurse practitioner. She was a registered nurse, like I said, but she never got to actually be a nurse practitioner. And I just hope that I can make Kelly proud in continuing to go after my own dreams and goals. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm sorry that it was very emotional and not a really upbeat type video. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hug the ones you love, spend time with them, love on them, and I will talk to you guys next time.